And if Aaron comes out and says, I want to move on, and once again, listening to that whole thing, I didn't get a feeling that he said that because he wanted to leave. But if we're gonna have the conversation, I mean, let's have the conversation.
Yeah.
If he was to come out and say, I'd like to move on, the people that don't like Aaron for whatever reason will get really loud. And then I think a lot of people, though, especially after this year and everything, and after watching what happened, will go like, yeah, fucking go on. You know, this is just like Matthew Stafford, right? Matthew Stafford, much smaller level, obviously, because Aaron Rodgers is at the conversation of greatest of all time, and Matthew Stafford is not. And many would say it's potentially because of where he's been. If he's been on a good team, there'd be a different conversation there. But Matthew Stafford was always just chill, cool. I understand that my career is being wasted here or whatever. I'm not saying it's the exact same as Detroit. Obviously, it is different, potentially because it is Aaron, but it is. I mean, it's a different organization. Okay, the Lions are a much different organization than the Packers. I was going to potentially, but the Packers do not deserve that. Okay, especially on this day. Neither do their fans.
No, they don't.
Motor City Dan Campbell is going to turn that all around. Potentially. Bring in Deuce Staley from Philadelphia. But Matthew Stafford's at the point where they mutually agreed to part ways or whatever, and everybody's like, good for you, man. You know what I mean? So I do believe that Deshaun Watson, I feel like there's a lot of people that are like, good for you, man. Go do what you got to do. If Aaron was to do it, I think every football person would be like, yeah, I mean, he's being held hostage basically in Green Bay right now. Let them do what they got to do. And there's some intriguing landing spots.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Indianapolis, you know, everybody's saying that's the number one spot.
Yeah.
If Aaron was to be traded, Indianapolis is where he should be thinking about going. You know what I mean? Teams built around him. All right. Team was already good this year. Phillip Rivers, great quarterback. Hey, Hall of Fame quarterback. Many people are saying. But imagine Aaron in this particular place with that defense, that offensive line. By the way, Frank Reich will go for it on fourth down. He will let you do whatever. Okay. He will go for it whenever, however he has to. It's just very interesting. Also, 49ers people are saying.
Whoa.
If he was to go back home, by the way, you know he has a deep, deep love for that area of the country. He was even talking about it after he donated $500,000 to the Barstool Fund. Whenever we talked about it on the show, he was talking about how, you know, back in Butte County, a lot has happened. Look for something to happen there. He still has deep ties there. That was his childhood team. I mean, they're putting pictures up on ESPN and NFL Network of him wearing 49ers uniform with a helmet and jersey on him. I mean, that would be a storybook type situation. Was almost going to happen with Tom Brady, also from the same area a year ago. It is alleged that they did look into Tom Brady, but for whatever reason, it didn't work out. If Aaron's on the table and Shanahan can get him in there in that offense, Debo, Kittle, boys, I mean, how you doing? Keep it moving. Niners will be pumped about that. Then people are saying L.A., because he's got that house in Malibu. That was actually referred to this morning. You know, he has that house in Malibu in L.A. The L.A. Rams could be done with Goff. Maybe there's a move there. There's the Steelers. People were saying the Steelers. I saw Diggs pitching the Steelers.
Why not?
Why not? I think this is exactly like the Tom Brady situation where everybody just looks at their quarterback and goes, if Aaron fucking Rodgers is out there, are we not trying? Now, granted, it's going to take 3-4 number one overall picks. I mean, that's just how it's going to go. Probably a player in exchange, if I had to guess. That's the type of dude Aaron is, and some people might be surprised about that or whatever, and that means they probably just don't ever watch Aaron or know how people truly feel about him as a player. That's probably 3-4 number one overalls. Stafford, I'd assume, is the number one or two number ones to get out of there. I mean, if people really want to make a move to get a guy, and you need a plug in place, like, for instance, the Colts need... We just did it with Phil.
Yep.
It worked. Success. Didn't get to where we wanted to, but it was good. Let's just go ahead and try it again. Drop you in there. I mean, the Niners traded for Jimmy G. They made a play for Jimmy G to get him in there. Why not Aaron or Matty? That's a question that a lot of people are going to ask, I assume, this offseason until it all gets settled. You know Aaron a lot better than I do. Aaron, after the game, obviously competitive. Like, when I asked him this year why he loved football so much, he talked about his competitive drive like 3-4 times very early. And to be in the NFL, you have to be uber competitive. It's just what you have to do. And especially this season with how well he was feeling mentally, physically, and going. For it all to stop immediately, okay? Obviously a much different Aaron. And I've talked about how when we lost the Super Bowl, that locker room was the most miserable place I've ever been in my entire life. Just like everybody understanding how close we were to winning a Super Bowl, and instead it didn't happen, and we never got back from that moment. All the OGs knew that was a potential outcome there. It was so miserable. That locker room after that NFC Championship game, I would assume, was absolutely miserable. He goes in there, does that press conference, and he talks about futures being uncertain, including mine, and as soon as those words left his mouth, I mean, the internet, which had already started a little bit of a buzzstorm because the Jordan Love draft pick and the year that Aaron's having and everything like that. And I think here, we joked about it a lot. Ty was very pissed off anytime it was mentioned. Ty would always say, well, you wait until the season's over. As soon as the season's over, by the way, it started everywhere. How do you feel about the way Aaron's words have become an absolute firestorm almost everywhere this morning?
Well, it is funny, I guess, how the reaction that everybody has to it. I feel like if I would make a guess of what he was saying, he's thinking, hey, it's not exactly up to me. Like, I think he was saying, like, hey, I don't know what the team wants to do. I don't know what the front office wants to do. I don't know what the plan is moving forward. So he's like, I'm not sure what my future holds, even though I am under contract here. And I know people take it many different ways. Who knows? He kind of chuckled too when he even said myself included. So I don't know.
Oh, I didn't notice the chuckle there. I'm going to have to run it back like the Kansas City Chiefs. This show stinks, dude. It's very intriguing. It is a very intriguing situation, Field. If you had a gut, okay, and not that you do, you're in incredible shape, but a gut feeling, would it be that you just assume that this is all just kind of blown out of proportion? He'll be back as a Packer next year? Because I think that's how a lot of Packers fans feel.
Yeah, my gut would be that Aaron returns to Green Bay for at least one more season for a few reasons. First of all, when the Packers drafted Jordan Love, it's not like they announced their succession plan as a result of it. But that was, of course, the first moment that we started talking about life beyond Aaron Rodgers. If you look at the numbers, you look at the financial implications of trading Aaron Rodgers this offseason, it's very not palatable for the Packers. It would compromise an already tight cap situation in a major way. And if you're trading away Aaron Rodgers, it's not like you're trading him away to receive players that aren't going to count much against the cap. You're either trading him for probably multiple first-round picks or a first-round pick plus a dynamic player or several dynamic players. He's the MVP, at least for this year, after all. So my gut remains that Aaron Rodgers returns to the Green Bay Packers, but the NFL offseason is still 2 weeks away, technically, and it feels like we're going to have the craziest quarterback cycle maybe that we can remember over the past 10, 15 years. There are so many quarterbacks where there are question marks surrounding them, and then there are others, like Matthew Stafford, who we already know aren't going to return to their incumbent teams. Rodgers, of course, moving would be, I would think, the most significant domino if it ever came to pass. My gut remains, though, he stays with the Packers.
Okay, I believe the same thing, but boy, it's an interesting conversation.